Hello everybody and welcome to Monmouth Comprehensive School. So my name is Mr. Hutchison and I am privileged to be the head teacher of this wonderful school. So thank you very much for joining us. There's all manner of ways to find out more about the school as you make this really important decision about your child's secondary school. You can of course visit our website. You can go to our YouTube channel and watch the large number of videos there from subjects and from other areas as well. You can book into one of the small tours that we're running. We're doing as many as possible so that you can see the school in person. And of course, on our website, you've got our school prospectus, where you can really learn more about the curriculum and the learning that goes on all the way from year 7 to year 13. You'll also hear this evening from Miss Cook, who's our Director of Learning for Key Stage 3, and from our head boy and head girl as well. So there's all manner of ways to find more things about the school. I wanted to make sure that in this short presentation from me, that you were hearing about our vision, our values, and our ethos. What is it about Monmouth Comprehensive School that is so special and unique? Well, our vision is actually quite straightforward. Our vision is to be an inclusive and aspirational school for our whole community, and to also be the very best school in the country. So a straightforward vision, of course, but a hugely ambitious one as well. Now, when we talk about being the best school, we don't just mean academic success, although exam results, of course, are very important. It's more than that. It's about building a unique and exceptional school community where there is collaboration and mutual respect between everybody, and where learning happens everywhere, every day. We're a happy and successful school, and that is our aim for every single student as well, to be happy and successful not only during school, but also throughout their whole lives. And we really do recognise the importance of the decision that you're currently wrestling with, and in particular, the fact that secondary school is really transformative. Now, we of course mean transformative in a physical sense, because students join us at age 11 and then they leave us as adults, and that's a frankly terrifying thing for everybody listening in lots of ways, I'm sure. So as well as that, it's transformative in that through secondary school, students learn new things, they discover new subjects, new interests, but also they grow and flourish as individuals ready for their adult lives. And that really is something that a responsibility and an honour that we take incredibly seriously here. We are founded on a premise, and a simple premise of work hard, be kind, and all else comes from this. And we hold our school values really close to our hearts. They run like a thread through everything at school. Now, firstly, the first of the 5 school values is respect. So that's respect from everybody in the school towards each other, but it's also respect for oneself, taking pride in one's learning and the way we conduct ourselves. We next have freedom with responsibility. And it's really important that those two things are together, because they are the two parts of that really important value. And as students grow and flourish, then they learn how to deal with both the freedom and the responsibility that getting older has for them. Our third value is independence, and that's a growing sense of independence in the way that they organise themselves every day, but also in the way that they learn and they work. And through their school careers, we teach students how to be more self-driven and independent so that they are ready for the next step in their lives, whether that's university, technical pathways, apprenticeships, or anything else. Our fourth value is security. Now, we mean this in a lot of different ways. We mean personal security, of course. We mean online security, that is ever more important in today's society. We also mean emotional security, the trust and ability that students have to know that there are people at school who will help them, that there are staff that will support them when they are finding things difficult. And our final value is success. Success comes in a variety of ways, and we don't just see one route of success. And we celebrate all manners of pathways that students take, no matter what that pathway is. And our job, our role as a school, is to enable students to have that success, whatever it is. So we are a large school, as you may know, but we take real pride in knowing every student and knowing them really well. Well-being is the foundation of success, because a student needs to feel secure and safe and happy at school in order to learn and to grow. In order to help this, we also build and develop relationships with families, and that contact and cooperation and partnership between home and school is a really vital part of supporting students through their secondary school career. We're also very clear, fair and consistent about our expectations of all students, whether that's expectations of their hard work, their conduct, their good manners, their focus in the classroom and mutual respect between everybody in the school. And talking of the school building itself is, as you may know, a magnificent school building. It's only completed 3 years ago, and it really is a wonderful facility with education right at its heart. It has a lot of very flexible learning spaces, and that reflects the different variety of ways that we use in day-to-day education. So as well as traditional classrooms, as well as the science labs, the technology rooms, the art facilities, we also have breakout spaces, we have presentation areas, and we have independent working hubs as well. And that reflects the fact that students learn differently in different ways and in different subjects. It really is a fantastic building, and you can look and see all about it on our website. I wanted to also mention recent investment that we've been recently making in the school in order to enable the support to be even more effective for students. We have recruited extra teachers across a range of subjects to ensure that class size averages come down, and so that class sizes are on average smaller. We have tripled the amount of well-being staff who are in place to support students and to be a constant point of contact for those students. We are looking at doubling the counselling capacity to make sure that in these really difficult, tumultuous times that everybody has had for the last couple of years, that we're able to support students' mental health and well-being. We're also increasing the learning support, so that students with additional learning needs are able to have fantastically accelerated success in the same way that every other student does, because that's fair and right. And we have also recruited extra academic tutors to make sure there's even more capacity for students to be able to make progress in their lessons. So the whole of the picture is a collaborative school that is inclusive and also has the very highest ambitions and aspirations for every single child that comes to the school. Thank you. I'm going to now hand over to Miss Cook. Miss Cook is the Director of Learning for Key Stage 3 and the Senior Leader who is in charge of transition from primary school to secondary school. Miss Cook.
Thank you, Mr. Hutchison. Noswaith a croeso. Good evening and welcome to our virtual open evening. I hope that you're all excited to explore our school and the opportunities and experiences available to you here at Monmouth Comprehensive School. My name is Miss Cook and I'm the Director of Learning for Key Stage 3. Transition from primary to secondary school can be a challenging and exciting time for both students and parents. And we aim to work alongside primary schools to ensure that each student joining us in Year 7 is known and known well before they join us in September. During the transition period, staff will work alongside primary schools as part of the partnership. During this time, we sample work, discuss outcomes and share information. Throughout the summer term, meetings are held with Year 6 teachers to discuss each child joining us at MCS and gather information around their academic progress, their well-being, the support that they're receiving, and importantly, their strengths and interests. The primary school teachers have a wealth of information about their students, and these conversations are highly valued as part of getting to know each student well. We hold a new entrance evening each year, which is an opportunity for each form group to experience the school and meet their tutors for the first time. There will also be a Q&A session for parents with the senior leadership team. In July, we hold 2 taster days where students are able to come into school and meet their tutor and some teaching staff and experience a range of taster lessons. During the transition from primary to secondary, there are a number of means of communication to help students with their move to secondary school. This includes our transition booklet with transition activities so that students can get to know the school building, the school values, which Mr. Hutchison has already touched upon, and the expectations. A booklet will be supplied to each student joining us in September in the summer term. We also have a transition website dedicated to all things transition. This can be accessed through our main website by clicking on the Curriculum and Learning and then the Year 6 Transition to MCS tab. Here you'll find taster lessons, an introduction to all subject areas, introduction to the form tutors, and other general school information. We also have a transition Twitter account, which is at MCS_transition_ and is displayed on the screen currently. We use this to communicate information around transition during the summer term. Please do follow us. In school, we also have a large wellbeing team. The wellbeing team are here to support students throughout their time at MCS. Mr. Williams, the assistant head teacher, oversees the behaviour and the wellbeing for the whole school. And as your director of learning, I'm here to meet your potential with your learning throughout your time in Key Stage 3. Mr. Sully is our wellbeing manager and along with other members of the wellbeing team is here to look after your welfare in school. Sometimes students may require extra support outside the classroom, and we have Mr. Jenkins, our intervention officer, who can offer mentoring and intervention to help students to achieve. Mrs. Bailey is our family support worker and works alongside families and external agencies to ensure that students are safe and supported both in and out of school. Each year group will also have a pastoral support officer. The pastoral support officer is there to help with the day-to-day problems or issues that students may experience and support them throughout the day. Each student will also belong to a form group and will be supported by a form tutor. Students will see their tutors every morning and will complete things such as morning activities, share notices, and have time to build relationships with all members of the form group. We also have a member of staff, Mrs. Brown, who's dedicated to healthcare for all students in the school. We have 9 forms across each year group, and the form groups are created from information shared with us from the primary school teachers. Students are separated into 2 separate bands, X and Y band, and these bands are used purely for timetabling purposes, and all forms across the school are mixed ability groups. Form building is based upon our knowledge of the students from the transition period, and we group the students based on their learning needs to ensure a balanced group. We're unable, unfortunately, to place students in friendship groups, but we do ensure that students are grouped with at least one other student from their primary school. This will ensure that they have a familiar face when they arrive in September, and the induction period will allow for students to make new friends and meet new students from other primary schools. Students will still be able to spend time with their friends from primary school during break, lunch, and extracurricular clubs. We spend a large amount of time each year to make sure that we get each tutor group correct and that it meets the needs of all. As part of the induction process in September, Year 7s will also have a day to experience the school without other year groups present. On this day, students will spend the majority of the time with their tutor and in their form groups. The day will include things such as a tour of the school, getting to know you activities, information on how to use the canteen, and an assembly from the head teacher and director of learning to share school values and expectations. To allow students to fully settle into school, Year 7 are given extra time throughout the day to move between lessons, collect food and go to break and lunch, and also their buses at the end of the school day. This continues for the first 2 weeks of school, along with their Along with their tutors, Year 7 students will also experience a unit of work called Learning to Learn. And here they will develop skills around resilience, independence, and personal responsibility to further help support the transition from primary to secondary school. I hope that you enjoy the virtual open evening and getting to know more about our school. We're really looking forward to getting to know you all as individuals and supporting you to meet your true potential over the course of this year and beyond. Diolch a noswaith dda I chi. I'm now going to pass over to the head boy and head girl.
Hello, my name is Rowan and I'm head boy here at MCS. First of all, I'm very disappointed that you could not be with us in person this year. Nonetheless, I'm sure we can show you what MCS has to offer. I remember being in a similar position as you are all in now, when I attended an open evening here roughly 7 years ago. I remember the excitement and the nervousness and the constant swirling on my head. I assure you that this evening is one where you explore, not choose. Please ask questions in the chat bar and we will provide a follow-up video on our website answering them. I attended this evening as a primary school student from a school outside a catchment. MCS was not logistically the obvious choice or the one we thought as a family was a likely option. The teachers' charisma, dedication and passion ultimately convinced us that it was a fantastic school. I still remember Mr. Green in his coat of armour welcoming us into the history department. Despite it being the first open evening we attended, I said to my parents as we left that I wanted to go here. They tried to convince me that it was a bit too early to say. All I can say to that is, in the end, I was right. The expectations I had of school were met when I first started in Year 7. The support of teachers in our well-being was and has always been excellent. We made sure there was a smooth transition and allowed time for us to become acquainted with our new surroundings. The first day of Year 7, you are in form groups, getting to know the peers you will be with the next 5 or 7 years and developing that important relationship with your form tutor. Form tutors are very understanding of the transition and have constant dialogue with you during form time to ensure that you are comfortable and happy. I can say that after 2 weeks, all the anxiousness and nervousness had been swept away and I was happy here, focused on my work. One of my favourite aspects of Year 7 was the newly acquired independence. You're the one who makes sure you are at lessons on time, complete your homework, and are ready to learn. The relationship with your teachers changes as a result of this. They in turn treat you as a more responsible person. You no longer have to line up on the yard after breaks or lunch ready to get into class. This independence, along with the new freedoms and responsibilities, makes life at MCS a time where you grow into yourself and develop as a person. MCS is a school that has provided me a lot, and for that I'm very grateful. I'm certain that I can replicate this for you if you attend here. Thank you for listening, and I wish you all the best. And I'll pass on to Susie, the head girl.
Hi, I'm Susie. I'm head girl at Monmouth Comprehensive, and I found the step up from primary school a big jump. But it was also a thrilling and exciting experience. I live over the border in the Forest of Dean, so I found it quite different speaking Welsh in day-to-day life. However, I soon embraced the culture and you would be surprised by how much fun you have in a Welsh lesson. Secondary school can seem daunting at first, and although it was a while ago, I remember feeling nervous yet excited. But my teachers and friends at Monmouth supported me, so I felt comfortable, which helped me settle in well. I'm so grateful for my parents for encouraging me to come, as I've met such wonderful friends who have helped shape me into the person I am today. It's such a good opportunity to meet new people, and the one thing I would advise is to get involved in as many clubs as you can. Whether it's sport or cartoons or drama club, at Monmouth there's something for everyone. When I was in Year 7, I did horse riding and drama club, all sorts, and now I'm involved in the school production, which is Greece this year. My favourite aspect of Year 7 was trying new subjects like cooking in DT and doing Expressive Arts. I hadn't experienced anything like that in primary school. I think it helps you explore new interests that you really enjoy doing and encourages your enthusiasm that can really make the school day fun. Another amazing experience I've had is our school trips. I've been on different residentials to Paris, Thorpe Park, and lots of theatre trips to see shows. There's plenty of opportunities to go abroad, like skiing trips and sports tours too, which strengthen friendships, build teamwork skills, help progress learning, and it is such a lot of fun. Another thing I enjoyed was the student council elections. Throughout my time at Monmouth, I've been a class representative, and I think it's really important, and it's really important to the school too, that students have a voice. And I've always loved speaking up for my peers and helping make beneficial changes to our school. If you have any worries, questions or concerns, you can look for the yellow badges for our student leadership team or our prefects, and they'll be happy to help. And please have a look on our website for further videos. We hope to see you soon, and thank you for listening. And I'm going to hand it over back to Mr. Hutchison, who will be answering a few questions.
There we go. Thank you both, and thank you, Ms. Cook, as well, for all of that. So yes, we have a few questions that I'm going to go through. So the first question that we've been asked, and I should have said this at the start, so apologies, but anybody who still wants to ask a question, if you look at the right-hand side of your screen, there should be a ability to ask a question, a button there that you can. We'll get through as many as we can. The first question that we've been asked was, how many GCSEs do students typically take? Well, the average number is 11, but it really depends on the individual student, and that's where that knowing every student and knowing them well comes in, because some students take fewer and some students may well take 12 or 13, and it really depends on the individual student. The next question that we had was about what's the pathway for gifted and talented students? Well, there is a really widespread pathway. In fact, I was talking to the coordinator, Mr. Green, just only today about our More Able and Talented programme. Now, that starts all the way from year 7 and goes all the way to year 13. And a range of students are identified in all subjects. That's very important to say, across a range of subjects, not just 1 or 2. So that the abilities, the gifted and talented abilities of the individual comes out no matter where those particular strengths lie. And as well as the internal programme we have a range of presenters and speakers and events and opportunities that students can be involved with. As well as that, we really try and foster that greater sense of independence for students, who, especially those on the More Able and Talented programme, so that instead of feeling like they have to accelerate through the curriculum, they can go instead into further depth into the curriculum, so that we provide opportunities for them to do their own research or to find out more about a topic that they're particularly interested in. Now, we have a very well established and very successful pathway for students, More Able and Talented students and others, to Oxbridge, Russell Group universities and many other fine institutions. But we're also really aware that there's no single pathway that suits everybody, and that goes back to knowing every student, because some of the most gifted and talented, some of the most able students may well not want to take that pathway and may want to do something else instead. So that knowing every student is really, really vital, so they don't feel shoehorned just down one particular route. We've also been asked as well about our policy on bullying. Well, our anti-bullying policy is available on our website, but it's straightforward really. We have a zero tolerance approach to it, and any incidents of poor behaviour are dealt with really robustly. And it comes back to that culture of high expectations, of being collaborative and supportive, and making sure we're expecting the best from every single student. So we deal with it very, very fairly, robustly, and making sure that students who are who find things difficult or are having a difficult time are really supported to feel happy and successful at school. The next question, just scrolling down, we've got, actually there's somebody saying Headboy and Headgirl are brilliant presenters. Well done, so thank you very much for that on behalf of them. But after that, how big are your average classes? Right, well, so all state schools are funded at Key Stage 3, so year 7, 8 and 9, for class sizes of 30. However, what I spoke about with the additional funding means that at Key Stage 3, a range of subjects, including English, maths, science, Welsh, and languages, have an average class size of 22. And that considerable difference does make a real difference in the classroom as well. When you get to Key Stage 4, so GCSEs and some BTECs, there's a wider variation because that's when the options come in. And so you might get a class of 10 and you might get a class of 30. And then when you get to A level, the difference is even greater. So you might have a class of 20 or you might have a class as few as 5, because we want to make sure that we've got a broad offer that is available for a wide range of students. And that comes back to being an inclusive community school for the whole community. So make sure we have a broad curriculum offer. Okay, so we've got a question. Is it true you can eat breakfast, lunch and dinner in the canteen? Yes, well, our food hall is open before school, yes, for breakfast club, and at break time and at lunchtime, and then after school as well. And it's open after school because of the wide range of extracurricular clubs that go on. So we have everything from sport clubs to debating club to, I popped into one today, which is the Warhammer Club. It's absolutely fantastic. We want to make sure students have the opportunity to get a snack or something to eat to keep them going after a long day and hard day working at school as well. Okay, so I'm just scrolling through to see see how many more I can get through. How many teachers are there? That's a good one. I actually do know this one off the top of my head. There are 91 teachers, but there's also another 65 additional staff. So that is the support staff and the administrative staff. And that gives you a sense of the large range of people who are there, of staff who are there to support students in all manner of things. So it's not about just class teachers, it's about the whole of the staff there. There's a question about Expressive Arts next, as somebody who's been looking on the website. So if you look at the prospectus, it'll explain this, that Expressive Arts is 3 main areas, and they are drama, music and art. Those 3 main areas form a what's called a faculty of expressive arts. Okay, so I've got a couple of questions about making contact with form tutors' email addresses. So in fact, we want to make sure that you're able to talk to and communicate with the form tutors, but also subject tutors. And what we use for that is Google Classroom. So that's a means by which we put homework on, but it's also a means of communication between home and school as well. So that is the platform that we use for that communication. We do have emails as well, and we're happy to share those on an ongoing basis, but the main one that we use is Google Classroom. Somebody asking about the sports that we do at MCS. Well, there is a wide range of sports. We have some very extensive playing fields, really have the benefit of that. We have AstroTurf pitches, more than one, basketball courts. We're about to get some new table tennis tables. I'm very excited about that. Rugby fields, athletics tracks and football fields. We also are very close to the River Wise. So we are very excited to have the only comprehensive school boat club in this country. We're very, very proud about this over a long history. There is a video on our YouTube channel which you can see more and see them all in action, and it really, really is fantastic. And that is available for all students as soon as they hit year 9. I'm just scrolling through a few more. So then there is one about, there's a couple actually about the new syllabus, the Key Stage 3 curriculum for Wales. I mean, I could talk about this for a very long time. It's a subject of really fervent discussion in education in Wales. The new curriculum for Wales is an opportunity for schools to form a curriculum that suits their students' needs and their community. And if you go to the prospectus early on, we have a couple of pages that just outline the approach that we take. And the outline sets out the fact that we still believe that subjects are the absolute core of how people learn at school. and that learning knowledge as well as developing skills and learning in a variety of ways is an incredibly important way to keep knowledge right at the centre and subjects right at the centre. So, there's a really good question here. I'm trying to get through as many as I can, but really good question. How will you help us to not get lost in such a big school? That's a really good question. Thank you for that one. It is a big school. There is no getting around the fact that it is a big school. We've got 1,736 children on roll right at the moment at school. It is large. However, a number of things. Firstly, we make sure that you are that everything is explained to you. So in induction, through the transition events that we really hope to hold in the summer and your first day at school, we walk you around, we show you where things are in the building. But the second thing is this: because it's such a new building, it has been designed so cleverly as to be actually very easy to get around. It's very easy to find your way from one place to another. And on top of that, there's some very good signage, which makes it exceptionally clear for anybody just even visiting our school for the first time to find out where the different departments and subjects are located. Now, we know that year sevens will find it more difficult, and that's why we do things like make sure that you have a map, make sure that you leave for break and lunch in the first few weeks a little bit earlier than other students, so you have more time to find your way down to the food hall. So that process of integration, of induction, is a really, really important one for us. Continuing to scroll through, is the rowing club available to all year groups? That starts at year 9. OK, here's one which is very close to my heart. What's the policy on mobile phones at school? Right, the policy on mobile phones at school is this. It's a very clear one. All students are permitted to bring a phone to school. That's really important because some students come from a long way away. We want to make sure that they're safe, that they're secure, and that they can call home before or after school. That's really important. Once they come into the school building, the phone gets switched off and put in their bag. Alternatively, they can leave the phone at reception if they like, but otherwise it gets switched off and put in their bag. And then it stays in their bag until the end of the day. So they are not permitted it anywhere in the school building or in the playground at any point. And we made that decision for a number of reasons. There's the safeguarding reasons, of course, and we've got a responsibility to keep everybody safe. And also, we have seen since we had this policy on mobile phones that actually there's a lot more conversations happening at break time. There's a lot more people playing games, taking part in the break time activities, lots more playing cards at the moment, actually. I don't know whether anybody remembers Chase the Ace, but there's quite a few games of that going on at the moment. And it has been really well received by everybody. And so it's been a very popular one. In fact, spoken to a lot of parents about it, and without exception, every parent has been very supportive of the change. Students deserve a break from their screens as much as everybody else does. And we've got a responsibility to show them how to do that and not just keep our fingers crossed and hope that everything's okay. So one about Welsh as well. How embedded is Welsh within the daily school life? Well, it is very embedded. I know that we are almost on the border, less than a mile away from the border, but we are proudly a Welsh school. Welsh is taught all the way through the curriculum. It's available all the way from year 7, where everybody will study it, all the way to year 13, and we have plenty of success at A level as well. But aside from that as well, we try and promote Welsh within the school and within daily life. Just last week we had Shemai Shemai Day, where we were all encouraging everybody just to say Shemai to each other instead of hi. So it was just a really good way of trying to integrate it into school life. Let's just try and do a couple more before we're running out of time. So there's a question there about what the difference is between the X and Y bands. That's a question we get asked quite often. It is only a timetabling thing. There is no difference. It is all the classes start off in year 7 as just mixed ability classes. As Miss Cook said, we try and make sure that the right groupings are there, but they're very much mixed ability classes, and the X and Y bands are just ways to sort out the timetable program. It's really as simple as that, and we just call them X and Y. So good question. This is a good question. I'm not sure. What's the best thing about being head teacher? That's a good one. I really enjoy that one. I was actually talking to somebody who we were interviewing for a post earlier today, and she asked me almost this exact same thing. And I think, so the answer that I gave was, it gives me immense pride to be able to be part of this organisation and leading this organisation, this school that is right at the centre of its community. So it isn't lost within a large city somewhere or one of a number. We are the comprehensive secondary school for Monmouth and the surrounding areas. And we invite and include everybody. We're aspirational for everybody and we welcome everybody. And that is so, so important. And I'm really, really proud as head teacher that that is the case for us. Just scrolling for a couple more. Is there an active parent association? Yes, and thank you for asking that. MCS Friends is our parents association, parents and carers and other friends of the school. And we are really grateful for their support and their fundraising efforts. The table tennis tables that I'm so excited about are funded by MCS Friends, and we're so, so grateful to them and for their support. They really are fantastic. Do we have an art club? Yes, we have an art club. We have all manner of clubs. There really are a huge variety of clubs to choose from. And also we're really keen if some students have got an idea for a club that we support them to create and develop their own club. And that's happened a few times already this year, and we're really keen for that to be continued. And that gives me an opportunity to talk more widely about student voice and the positive relationships between students and staff. Of course, we have our leadership team, and you've met our head boy and head girl, of course, and we have prefects, but we also have the democratically elected student council, and that has got representatives from across the year groups and gives people an opportunity to voice their thoughts on all aspects of school life. So that's really, really important. I'll do a couple more because I know we're running out of time, but I'll try. So there's one about how healthy is the food? Well, extraordinarily healthy. We are mandated by Welsh government to make sure that food is healthy, but also, and I have been asking students this a lot in the last few weeks, they really like the food and it is popular, and it is there's a wide variety of it as well, which is really important. Another question that I haven't been asked on this, but it's worth just noting as well, is that quite a lot of people are worried in advance about the length of queues to wait for food and so forth. But we have such an efficient system here that no student is going to be waiting for more than 2 or 3 minutes. It is very efficient the way that we make sure that everybody's able to go in, choose their food, pay, and then go and find somewhere to eat. So that is something that I know people worry about in advance, but actually it works really, really well. There's a question here about finding transport and buses at the end of school. Of course, all the buses, there are large amounts of students bussed in every day, and that's organised by PTU, which is a branch of the county council. So we don't have anything to do with that directly. However, of course, we are there to help you. We're on duty every day, making sure you get to the right bus. And again, with year 7s, we know that it'll be a little bit tricky sometimes, and we have to we make sure that you are guided to your bus, and we make sure that nobody is left behind. Good and very wide question here. How are your GCSE results? Well, I mean, excellent is the way that I would summarise that. Rather than go through them all, what I'd suggest is if you go to the prospectus, towards the back of the prospectus, there is a list of all of the results. It's been a very odd couple of years, so in fact, the results anywhere in the country are quite unlike other results. But the school previously has historically performed exceptionally well, both at GCSE and at A level as well. So the results really have been absolutely fantastic, and that will continue, of course, with high academic standards, no matter what the type of exams. It's been very difficult and different in the last couple of years for students, but we still have made sure that they have got the results that they deserve, and they have done extraordinarily well. So I'm going to do just a couple more. So we've got a few questions about languages. and the languages, if you go to the prospectus, you'll be able to read all about the languages, but the main language that students learn at Year 7 is French, but there are opportunities to learn other languages too, and there is a language club. In fact, Miss Snook, who's our head of faculty for languages, runs and works with language ambassadors. So they are students who really lead the way in terms of other languages. International Languages Day is something we really celebrate. So there's a wide range of languages that you can learn here at MCS. Okay, I'm just going to make sure. So there's a few questions about uniform. It's the best thing to do is to go onto the website and have a look at the uniform policy. Of course, you can see two shining examples of the uniform a little earlier when you saw a head boy and head girl, but there's also lots of information on the website about the uniform as well. Okay, I think I've got time for one more question, so I'm just going to try and scroll through and see what the most commonly asked question is. Any questions that I don't cover, what we're going to do is we're going to put together a frequently asked questions document and then make that available on our website. So please do check back and have a look at that as well. So the final one, here's a really good one. Is there a tour of the school? So the answer to that is yes. If you go to our website or directly to our YouTube channel, but if you go to our website, then click on Open Evenings, you can go then to our YouTube channel, and on our channel, as well as the subjects all telling you about the uniqueness of all the different subjects that you will study, from food technology to design to art to science, all of these exciting ones. You'll also hear from our student leadership team, who will take you on a tour of the school. Now, it's not the same as the real thing, of course, so we also say, if you can, and if you'd like to, there's an opportunity to contact us to try and book a tour. We're doing some small limited tours around the school after the school day, and we're doing as many of those as we've got capacity to do, because we know there is nothing quite like being in person in the school, looking at the magnificent facilities and so forth. Okay, so we will make sure that we have a document which gives all the frequently asked questions. But I wanted to say thank you very much for joining us this evening. I hope that what we've said this evening gives you something of a flavour of the school, but do look at all of the other resources that we've created to help you make this really important decision that is in front of you. And do come back to us with further questions as well. Come and ask if you want to have a tour, make use of all the resources. And I just wanted to say thank you to all the presenters who did wonderfully, and all the best, and thank you. Good evening.